welcome back. So we are now in episode 3, and firstly I'm just going to say the consistency for me, I'm just so impressed with myself. But yeah, so episode 3 today, and I'm just going to do a quick one about what went wrong with my first photo shoot. So in episode 2 I showed you like a little rundown of like things that happened like behind the scenes, what took place, and at the end like I showed you some of the shots that we got. So that's the shoot that I'm talking about. So let's get into it. Not too many things went wrong, but a couple of things did. So the main things that went wrong were getting my samples, because at the time I was working with a manufacturer. That is like a whole other story, which deserves its own like video, because I can tell you about how I ended up working with them and just do like a full manufacturer video kind of thing for you. So yeah, getting samples, photographer, and I think that's it actually. I think those are the only 2 things that went wrong. Yeah, photographer and samples. So let's start with samples. As I previously said, I was working with a manufacturer at the time. They were really nice, or should I say they are really nice. It was a female run business, so all of the employees were women. Seamstress, sewing, pattern cutter, garment tech, all women. So let me try and think back, but I first approached them, I think it might have been the like November, maybe like November 2019, possibly, I can't remember. Yeah, because I shot 2020. So yeah, I first approached them, like sent them an email maybe like November, December 2020, asking like what their lead times were like. I sent over like my sketches, my designs for them to like have a look at, and to basically kind of give me a bit of an estimate pricing. So they said to me over the Christmas period, like they're actually really quite busy and it would be best to come back in January. So I was like, okay, that's fine, not a problem. So yeah, got in contact with them in January. They were still a bit busy, so they agreed to like start production, or like start making samples, not production, let me clear that up, start to make samples the February. So I said, okay, fine, right. Given the lead time that they had given me, I was like, oh well, I'll be bang on track to shoot for October. So I ended up giving them a deadline of the end of September was the very latest that I needed the samples, because I wanted to shoot in October. So months are going, and things seem to be going okay. I got like first samples, and obviously like they weren't 100% correct, and then obviously sent them back. So when it comes to getting the second samples, or like the second approval for samples, it was just a bit delayed. And I can understand that they are busy, but obviously we've agreed on a timescale. So end of August comes and I still haven't had anything, bearing in mind I probably had the first set of samples around April. So second set of samples come, and I don't get those until like the beginning week in September, after like chasing them, but they're not right. So I said to the guy, I was like, look, I need them by the end of the month, because I'm supposed to shoot next month. And she was like, okay, yeah, fine. What happens? End of the month comes, no samples. So I was just like, oh, for God's sake, okay. gonna have to push this back. So I gave them extra time and I pushed my shoot back until November, and I said, look, I need these samples by it was before my birthday, so that was because I was meant to go away, so that was like the 15th of October. And I said I need them before because I'm due to go away, and when I come back I'm supposed to like shoot straight away. So she was like, yeah, fine, I'll have them sent to you. So end of September, still nothing. Beginning of October, still nothing. So literally like a couple of days before I was meant to go away, which ended up getting cancelled, there was still nothing. She was like, oh, we're still having problems, blah 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 blah. And by this time I'm getting so frustrated, so I was just like, send me what we've agreed is like fine, and the other couple of pieces can come like just before the shoot. So in the end she actually ended up sending me everything, because she was like, oh, we managed to finish. So this was like 3rd week in October, but the 2 t-shirts that I'd got, they were wrong. Like you couldn't get your head through the neckline, like through the hole. So I had to send those back, and I actually didn't get those until literally like 2 days before the shoot. And it really annoyed me because it's basically taking you, what, February, October, November, that doesn't make no sense. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 10 months just to give me about 6 finished samples. Yeah, a dress, a top, well, 2 tops, but they were the same top, just different colours. So a dress, a top, shorts, another shorts and a t-shirt, 5 samples. So that annoys me, and I was just like, right, fine. But when it came to the actual shoot, we had everything like there ready. But it was just annoying because before shooting, I really wanted to like go over with the stylist, like how we're gonna shoot, like what looks we're gonna put together, how we want it to come across. But I wasn't given that chance. I didn't get the opportunity to do that because the samples were late. So let's just leave the samples that aside. But yeah, that is what happened with samples, and that's what happened with manufacturer. Now let's get into the photographer. So I had reached out to a photographer that I'd previously worked with and asked her, it was a girl, I asked her if she was available on these dates. She said yeah. So I asked her, oh, like, what's your pricing? And she said to me that she has an £80 call out fee. Now she mainly shoots like influencers and shoots them like on like out in the streets and things like that. So for a studio shoot, I didn't understand why she had an £80 call out fee, because we're not shooting like outside, and a call out fee is very weird for a studio shoot. Is usually just priced per day. Do you know what I mean? Like the 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is you're doing. So I said to her, okay. And then her hourly fee was, I think, like, don't hold me to this, but I think it was around £20 an hour or something along those lines. So I was like to her, okay, cool. Like, when I worked it out, it kind of worked out to be around the same price as like if I was to have just book a photographer. A little bit more expensive, but it was like doable. So I said to her, oh, can we just do the £80 call out fee, and then I don't want to put an exact time, like hour limit on it, like can we just see how we go? So she was like, yeah, fine. So I was just like, okay, like I can deal with that, that's fine. So then I went to a friend that I know, and I basically just wanted to like check the price and not see that I was being bumped, and just kind of like mentioned like, oh, is this like, how much would you cost like for a shoot? So she gave me like her price, and her price was actually quite expensive, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And it kind of led into the conversation of, oh, what you thinking, what's your budget, kind of thing. But it wasn't really my intention to kind of go down that route. I just wanted to like compare the prices. But anyway, she ended up saying that she could do it for like within my budget. So I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna cancel the other one because she is a bit more expensive. And I've only seen her like influencer work, whereas my like friend has done like studio shoots and things like that, and I know her work and it's really good. So cancelled the other photographer to go with my friend, and then obviously this is all during like COVID, lockdown, not lockdown, all of those kind of situations. So I'd like kind of sent her like my mood board and things like that. We'd kind of discussed like, yeah, this is achievable, we can do this kind of thing. So I was like, okay, cool. So closer to the time, she hadn't sent me like any ideas as to like what she was thinking for the shoot or like lighting or anything like that. So I ended up messaging her to get like no response. WhatsApped her to kind of get like no response again. It's like, okay, fine. I'll just try again like in a week or so. So comes to like 2 weeks before the shoot, I just messaged her and said, hey, like, we still on for the shoot, like everything okay? And she was just kind of like, oh, I've been trying to get in contact with you. I'm away at the moment and I'm stuck out here. So I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna be able to do. Did she say she's not gonna be able to do the shoot? I think she was just like, she's not gonna be able to do the shoot because she's basically stuck overseas. So cancelled photographer, but it kind of felt like if I hadn't have messaged, she wouldn't have let me know that she was stuck overseas. She wouldn't have let me know that she wasn't able to do the shoot. And for me, things like that are very irritating, especially when you've put everything like kind of in place to be in a place where you can shoot and like run your production, and then it's like you're chasing people down to find out what's going on. And just in general, I hate things like that. Not just a work thing, but you know, a whole life thing. Like, if you're unable to do something, just let me know. Like, it's not that big of an issue. I will be able to like sort other things out. So luckily it was 2 weeks before, so I was actually finding it really hard to find a photographer. Was it 2 weeks? It might have even been a week before. I was finding it really difficult to find a photographer. I like posted on Insta, like, anyone know any photographers? Could let me know, looking for someone. But the reason it was hard to find a photographer was because notice, and literally the prices of the photographers that were free were just too expensive. Two of them were actually really good, and at some point, if like possible, when it comes back around, I'd like love to work with them. One was a guy, one was a girl, and their work was just impeccable. So I can obviously understand why they price that much. But yeah, one of my stylist friends, she come back to me with a list of photographers to like maybe try, and I was just like, oh, do you know what, you're a real one. So I actually ended up booking one of the photographers that friend sent me, and the photographer was like really good. She's like kind of new to the game, she just finished uni, and I think she just had time and she wasn't really up to much at that point when I messaged her. So I'd never met her before. We just literally met on the set, gave her the location, and she was really good. And obviously, if you've watched episode 2, you'll see at the end some of the images that she shot. So really happy with her, would absolutely use her again if she was free. So yeah, those are the two things that went wrong for me. And it's kind of like a little bit of a lesson in terms of, I think you can work with friends, but you can't work with friends when they're not on the same like don't know how to explain it, but when they're not on the same, like, not path, but like thinking as you. Do you know what I mean? And when it comes to things like this, obviously your personal heart is in it more because it's something that you're trying to achieve, whereas for other people it might just be a job, or do you know what I mean? And it might just be something like, oh well, if I don't have time to do it, I don't have time to do it. And essentially that's not what you want. That's not the kind of people that you want on your team, or the kind of people that you want to work with. You need people that are reliable, and even if they are unable to make it, can like just communicate with you that fact that they can't make it, instead of you having to like chase them down and see what's going on. But yeah, like I said, it was definitely a lesson. I don't think I would do that again. I think I'm more than capable of just like hiring out people or just taking images myself. As long as you've got, like I said before, like right lighting and things like that, you can do it. But yeah, those are the two major things that went wrong for me, like previous to that shoot. But the actual shoot ended up being really good. Everything ran really smoothly. We ran on time. I think we even finished early, to be fair, and we took a couple of like group shots. So yeah, those are the things that went wrong for me. If you got any questions about like, not even, I wouldn't say like how to avoid it, but because obviously certain things are out of your control, but just any questions regarding like how to find a photographer, how to approach them, then yeah, you can just drop me a message on the comments, or you can like message me on Insta, and you can literally just click the link in the description to go to my Insta. It'll be down there. So yeah, that's it, and I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe, turn on your notifications. I've already told you to comment, so you know you can do that. And I'll just catch you on my next video. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but I will get to it. So yeah, have a good day, evening, morning, whatever it is you're up to right now, and I'll see you next time.